Juan had his team really well prepared, and they're old. They're men. It reminded me a lot of Stephen F. Austin from last year, where we have we showed how young we were today, and they sense it. Some of these kids are 4 years older than us, and they've been through it. They've been at they're great kids, and this is a chance for them, and they played their butts off. They were much more physical than us, and we had so many unforced turnovers. We had 22 and they were like, how did that happen? They play good defense, but it's a containment defense. And so you shouldn't turn it over as much against that defense. And you get 22 turnovers in a game and go 4 for 10 from the free throw line, it's a recipe for disaster. The thing that saved our rebounding was excellent. We had 50 rebounds, and our 2 young guards really came and helped us. I thought Jeremy's leadership. There's a lot of game pressure on our team today, and it's such an unusual atmosphere. I know you all aren't here, and maybe if you were here, it would be a better atmosphere. We should invite you. But there's no pressure on the other team. None. And especially for a young team at home, there can be a lot of game pressure because you're supposed to win. You're supposed to win, and you're supposed to win at home, except home isn't like it has been. And obviously, Jeremy helped with his leadership, and DJ really came through. Again, we really put ourselves in a position, and they put us in that position also, where there was an immense amount of game pressure, down to 6 points. And during that time period, some guys really stepped forward. DJ hit some big buckets. Matt Hurt hit a big 3. And although he had limited minutes, Brakefield really helped us. But we just have we have a lot to do. But to give them credit, they played well. They got to the free throw line. That's another thing you have to adjust to in not having a game yet or a scrimmage and when I say this, they are fouls, don't get me wrong. They're like touch fouls where you got to keep your hands off people. You're not really gaining an advantage, but because you're not, your habits aren't there yet, it's your first college game. All of a sudden, number 3, I forget the pronunciation of his name, Tark. I don't know if it's Tarky or Tark. He just backed you down. He's 230, 6'5", 6'6", and if you don't use your forearm, you put your hand, it's a foul, and stuff like that. So there's so much to learn, from the game. So anyway, any questions that you all might have?
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll go first to Steve Wiseman. If you have a question, use a hand raise feature, and we'll go around. So, Steve, go ahead. Go first.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Coach, the way DJ played today, coming up big in those situations, I know you haven't had any game experience, really. Did he show you stuff in practices and scrimmages that he was ready for a situation like this where key plays had to be made to win the game?
Yeah, we have a lot of confidence in him. I mean, he or Joey could have started. We started our veterans today, and then we started DJ in the second half. And he's a natural scorer. And to come up with 24 points in your first college game, in a pressure game, that's a big-time performance by that kid.
All right, we'll go to Brendan Marks. Go ahead, Brendan.
Thanks, Mike. Congrats on the win, Coach. You mentioned the importance of rebounding, as a team, and you guys had contributions from a number of different guys in that respect, but obviously led by Jalen. I was just wondering, he had talked about still sort of learning and developing. Was he showing that level of dominance on the boards in practice, or was it a surprise as how well-rounded he played tonight?
Well, in the last couple scrimmages, he's had high double-figure rebounds. He had 17 in our last inter-squad scrimmage, and he's getting stronger with the ball. Obviously, in congestion, he had 7 turnovers, which, he's too good of a player. I mean, look, he goes 19 and 19. That's a heck of a first time performance for anybody, but especially a freshman. And we just have to be stronger with the ball. The biggest disappointment for me was the turnovers, and I think the turnovers lent itself to like not playing as well on the defensive end at times. But Jalen did a heck of a job for us. Obviously, you get 2 freshmen with 19 and 24, but that's I'm not sure. I can't remember when we had a guy with 19 rebounds, and but he's shown that. He's shown that in practice.
All right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jim Sumner.
Hey, Mike, I want to circle back to the turnovers again. Is that something you can clean up in practice, or is Dave just going to need more game pressure to get it under control?
Obviously, we work on it every day, and I just it's tough to explain some of those turnovers. It's just tough to explain where you throw it across the half court, the side of the court, and you throw it out of bounds. Like, why would you even be looking there? Or you leave your feet and not knowing what you do. So I don't know if there was some jitters or whatever, but again, they play good, solid defense. Juan, obviously, in the history of me being here, he's one of the great competitors we've ever faced and one of the great guys with his Maryland teams. And they played with that toughness. But now we'll work on it, and you're not going to win many games if you turn it over 22 times, man. That put us in a, when you don't get a shot, we're shooting over 50% from the floor, and that's 22 times you didn't get a shot, and you gave them a run out in some of those, and because overall our defense was pretty good, but not on those runouts, and then too many fouls.
David Thompson, go ahead, please.
Hey, Mike, congratulations on the win. You mentioned it a little bit before, but can you just talk about how strange it was to have a season opener in Cameron with no fans?
I can't. It's very difficult to explain because you can't compare it to anything. It's never happened. I don't care how they put pictures of the Cameron Crazies and the band and all that. There's no. I guess there's no atmosphere, and so you have to provide the atmosphere with your enthusiasm and talk, and we did not talk very well, and not to the other team but to one another, and I think once you start making a few mistakes, you draw within, and you're thinking about that. Because, look, we got a bunch of guys who need to develop. We have good talent, but it's not developed talent. And when you make those, a kid knows if when they make, mistakes that are just crazy, that affects you because they're like, why am I doing that? I mean, obviously he's not doing it on purpose. And so you get within, and without a crowd or whatever to pick you up, even if it's an opposing crowd, you can get more within. it's an interesting. It's interesting, and hopefully we don't do that by turning. We just don't turn the darn thing over.
Evan Cullen, go ahead, please.
Hey, Coach. So Mark Williams only played 4 minutes today. Patrick Tapei didn't get any playing time. Obviously, that might be easier against a team as small as Coppin State, but against teams like Michigan State, Illinois, ACC play especially, you're going to need some more of that size. So how do you plan on sort of getting them the experience needed for some of those
No,
matchups?
obviously when you're playing against 5 guards, they're going to take advantage of a big guy, and that's what they were doing right away. So they put 5 guards out there, and Mark and Patrick will play, and they're good players. But in today's game, because if you and they shot 35 threes. That was a game plan. And if you don't adjust and go small, then they're going to have a better chance of beating you. So, but no, those kids will play.
All right, last question, go to Vashti Hurt. Go ahead, Vashti.
Hi, Coach. I saw that you guys, everyone took a knee before, or I saw a picture of you guys taking a knee. Just wanted to know the decision behind that and significance.
Well, the ACC has a unity statement that's played before every competition, I think, in every sport. And we talked about it as a team that we felt that to show respect for the unity statement, to do that together, and then the respect for the national anthem, to have everyone stand. And it's really quite, pretty simple, to show respect on both parts.
And I just want to follow up. I just wanted to know your thoughts on the play of Jalen Johnson today.
No, well, 19 and 19, we wouldn't win without him. And he's such a good passer. Look, it's his first college game. He had 19 and 19 overall. And if we don't turn the ball over like we do, would be, jumping up and down here and saying, wow. But when you have 22 turnovers, it's you don't want to jump because you might turn the ball over again, even though the game's over.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you all.